Hey guys, I'm Nathan from Arms and Armor. Today I want to look at when you should put your finger over the crossguard and when you shouldn't. Stay tuned. So, when you grasp a sword, there are a couple different ways you can do it. One, you can hold it like it's a hammer and clobber stuff, and that's not usually the best way to do it. You should typically hold it more like you're shaking hands with the sword. But importantly, your finger can either be underneath the crossguard or above it. Right? And this completely changes the leverage that you have on the sword. Just moving your finger up shifts your hand maybe a half an inch towards the point and shifts the pommel on a well-designed sword to hit you on the sub-palmar leverage region right here, right? That lets you move. If you're holding it back here, right, you have a totally different grip. But you should not put your finger over the crossguard of every sword because many swords are sharp right there, right? And this is something to think about. This unsharpened section on this town guard sword that I just finished, which is pretty, you can take a look at it. It's called a ricasso. And the ricasso is an extension of the tang, which goes through the grip, that emerges before the blade gets sharpened. Where there is a ricasso, it is an indication that you might put your finger over the top of the guard. Now, if there is no ricasso, for example, this longsword, this is just my personal longsword. It's been in a bunch of videos you guys have seen. It's based on our Durr longsword. It's sharp right here, right? And that's a pretty good indication you don't really want to be sticking your finger up over and gripping it. Now, if we're, fighting with longswords, there are some places where it might make sense to have your finger up over that, but it really depends on the sword. It depends how sharp it is. Some swords are pretty sharp all the way down to the crossguard. Some of them get duller in this section that's called the strong of the blade, the fort, such that you could do it, right? But in a sword without a guard that protects your finger, this is an excellent way to lose a finger. Right? So if I parry someone's strike, it's going to come down and it's going to land right on top of my knuckle. Right? So when you're parrying someone's cut, you're not just trying to move it out of the way. You're typically trying to allow their sword, from wherever it hits yours, the weak of their sword, the half towards the point, to slide down your blade to the strong of yours, which allows taking control of their blade so that you can wind in and kill them, right? So you definitely don't want to put your finger right where you're trying to get their sword to end up, right? If the point of their sword, right, down here, ends up right in this corner, next to my quillin and my blade, that's a really good place for me to be. Right? I have a lot of control of their blade. If my finger's over it, that's not gonna go well for me. Right? I'm gonna have less control because I'm gonna be minus a finger and there's gonna be blood all over my grip. And that split second of cutting my finger off probably gives them plenty of time to kill me. More complex hilted swords tend to have a ricasso that allows you to put your finger over the crossguard and gain leverage, right? It's part of the design of the grip. Now, there are some long swords and two-handed swords that have unsharpened ricassos on them. Those may or may not be made for gripping or grabbing. Sometimes it's stylistic, sometimes it's aesthetic. It all depends on how they're used. So the presence of a ricasso doesn't 100% mean you should put your finger over it, and the absence of a ricasso doesn't 100% mean you can't put your finger over it. But you really need to think through how you're fighting with this weapon and what kind of protection there is for your finger. And it's not just because, like in HEMA, you don't want your finger broken. No, if you're fighting with sharps, you don't want your digits removed during a fight because they will impede your ability to handle your weapon. And so if you're gonna stick your finger up over the ricasso, up over the crossguard, you wanna be pretty sure you're not about to maim yourself on your own weapon or get in the way of what you're trying to do. So that is called a ricasso, and some swords have them. Thank you.